Good evening, SRA Nation. Welcome to Division Two's rendition of Season 4, Round 6 at the Watkins Glen. We are here at the crowd favorite, USA Track, located in beloved New York. And I, Douglas Mitchell, am joined by two absolute chads in the commentating realm of Mike Michelli and Josh Damiani.
Howdy, hello, SRA Nation. Welcome to the Glen, and welcome to Dix, New York.
Is Damiani even here?
I thought he said he was going to be here for the intro.
I think he said he's gonna go take a potty break, but you know what? We don't need him anyway. Look at those sunglasses in his picture. He's got the hater blockers on. We'll just go on without him. All right. So, like Mike already previously hinted at, Watkins Glen is located in Dix, New York. Fact check us. It is true. We're not just making that up for the memes. The distance around the track is 5.5 kilometers, aka 3.45 miles. 11 turns. Honestly, it's probably a little bit more than that, but they count one chicane as the bus stop as one turn for whatever reason. Again, the United States, us North American people like to use different measuring systems than the people in the EU. So, keeping things interesting. But this track, high speed, wide open throttle through most of it, high banking corners so you can carry a lot of speed. We're killing it out here. And I'm already seeing people hype in chat for D2, and people are already coming at me about singing, trying to fill Anderson's shoes. Como Drummo, I sang once. I don't know if y'all are ready for a second rendition. I promise you, it is tough to fill Andrew Anderson's shoes, but you can catch him in D3 tonight, actually. So good luck with that. Mike, is there a particular part of this track that you are that you enjoy specifically, or what's your thoughts?
I've done a lot of watching here. I didn't get a chance to race this week. I was a little tied up with some course, but I really enjoy the little section there between turns 2, 3, and 4. Just kind of hitting that dead straight on to really get through that little set of corners faster. It takes a lot of skill, and it takes a lot of talent. Only the really good drivers can hit that just dead straight like a pin.
You're not wrong. It basically from turn 1 all the way to turn 5. If you in this bus stop there, if you mess up turn 1, you're going to be hemorrhaging time across all of sector 1. So we'll be looking out to see if drivers can take advantage of that.
You gotta hook it up here, Doug. You really gotta hook it up here.
No kidding. Speaking of hooking it up, let's look at how our drivers' standings are. Hooking you up with some information here. Division 2 is looking pretty close. Separated by 1 point are P1 and P2. Ridiculously close. And then 3 and 4 are separated by 7 points. So everything's up for grabs at this stage in the season. We still have 3 full races, including this one, to account for. But Nate Speck looking fantastic. Brandon Subchition and Loic Normando are your podium as it stands today. But don't fret. Kevin Kovac, is that Zhao, and Michael Griffith, Carl Fredrickson, Austin Cobb, Mike Scott, Rogerio Santos, all top 10 drivers. Again, very, very close, especially as you start working your way down from 10 down to, say, 20. It starts getting even more narrow. And more importantly than individual championships, are these drivers make up teams of 2. And these teams of 2, right now, Team McLaren is taking the field by storm. It doesn't surprise me. There's like literally 19 of them across all of SRA Nation.
We're a big conglomerate. You have 2 of us in the booth tonight, so expect the Team McLaren shoutouts all night.
And expect me to hate on that the rest of the night. So Team McLaren, ISMC holding down P1, Lil Fellas in P2, Runtime Terror P3, and then a second Team McLaren Pod Racers P4. But can we talk about P5 for a second, Mike? Doug's
Yes, we can.
Digits.
It's just
Personal favorite.
you're biting on our back heels there, brother. You're
Yeah,
biting on
man.
our back heels there.
I'm telling you, Doug's Digits is the sleeper team in Division 2, and they're going to come out with an absolute force tonight, I promise.
I
But
believe you.
but all jokes aside, we have wrapped up all of silver qualifying, and the gold drivers are out on track now. So let's take a peek at what they're doing.
Yes, sir. Looks like so far it is Mr. Gutierrez posting a 1:45.4 as the top time right now. And he is currently moving around the T8 and T9. Let's see if he can increase on his delta here. I wish I had race control right now.
Yeah, no big deal. It's looking like Damiani has returned.
Hello.
I have sitting here watching in the background. The top time that I'm looking at is a 45.0.
As am I. I think that Mike might have joined the wrong server personally.
Yes, I do think Mike is also in the Division 3 server.
I did join the wrong server and I didn't even realize.
Yeah, well, that's why you have professionals like me and Damiani to really just keep you in check. So while he's getting swapped over, we'll give you the real data here. Right now, Kreska in a Porsche is having a 45 flat, like Damiani hinted at. 2/10 ahead of Almeida in a Lexus, which I love to see a Lexus in the field. That always gets me going. And P2 with a 145.3. And Roar in a Bentley with a 145.5. Really respectable times from the group here. We did see some incidents before we brought you guys on camera here. A lot of these drivers pushing it to the utter limits and finding the barrier. So I hope that that's not an indicator of what tonight's going to look like. But what I can tell you is that they were not holding back whatsoever from the first rendition here. But we're on board with OMG. It's Pav at the moment. He's coming around the track into the final corner. Let's take a ride with him and do a nice track walk here. So you just rounded the final corner. We're on the start-finish straight here. You're going to stick to the left side of the track. Brake about at the 150. Down hard over the first curbing there. And power early so you can carry as much momentum as possible. Like Mike and I discussed earlier, it's all about maintaining that momentum through this long, sweeping corners. Because if you don't get it right, you're losing time throughout this whole section. Keeping it wide open, committing to the bus stop is the scariest bit of this track. Hard on the brakes, over the big curbs, making sure that the suspension doesn't absolutely murder you. Into a hard, sweeping right-hand turn, getting on the power early, letting the car carry yourself out to the final curbing. And then now it's right into another fast, sweeping left turn. We talked about the banking really allowing you to get on the power, carry crazy speed. So now we're back down the hill and another right-hand banking turn. Really hard on the power. Early, get around the rotation. He gets it done. And again, now we're climbing yet another hill. A lot of elevation changes. But a nice break from the turns here. Hard on the brakes in between the two brake markers. Right-hand turn. Make sure you use all the track, which he does. Snap over to the right side to catch a fast left-hander. This is probably the slowest corner on the track right here. Nice and gradual. Easy to spin because the off camber there is a little weird. High speed, probably third or fourth gear. Left-hander there. Back over to the racing line for the final corner. A sweeping right-hander out to the wall, and that is a lap. We're searching for 145s. I think the gang has 144s in them. And just then, we watched Pav there, a 144.4, which puts him 0.6 ahead of the next best time, which is incredible. Good job on the man.
Do you think we just rode on board for the pole lap?
It's very possible. We still have 9 minutes left of qualifying. I think Pav has more time in him. And I do know Nate Specht, who is in P1 in the Drivers' Championship right now, had a 43 in practice, which is I think it was a 43, or maybe it might have been a very low 44. But whatever the case may be, he's going to be hunting for P1 from Pav, and on top of that, as his car is dazzling in the night lights there, Team McLaren driver, he has the potential to set the pole and steal it from Pav. I can promise you that. Subchition's also going to be putting on a show, but he's currently yellow flagged at the moment. He must be having an absolute moment.
Everybody takes a few of those here on this track. It seems some people got the wrong memo last night in the other races. The whole go bowling at the green does not mean bowl into other drivers, but a little bit more of bowl or roll the car through the corners and carry your speed is the memo of the game. So see how this gang does with it.
I'm not sure why you'd want to advertise bowling at a racetrack, personally, but hey, if a sponsor is willing to pay you, put a big banner up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't understand how they drew it, but I'd love to sit down with somebody and them try and pitch it to me, because where did it make sense to these guys?
Oh, there was definitely a latent pun, and at the end of the day, the drivers utilize that pun at other drivers' expense almost daily, so no problems there. But so Nate is starting a new lap here. He's trying his best to keep it clean. He's a couple tenths up through turn 1, which is a good start. We'll check back with him to make sure that he's doing okay. I want to take a peek down the grid here. Al Latufo, in his beloved Porsche, is setting a blistering lap right now. He is 5 tenths up in Sector 3. He only has a handful of corners left. And 5 tenths, 6 tenths up now. And if he's able to capitalize on this, it's going to move him up a sizable margin.
You've got it, and right behind him in the, or well, just ahead of him in the pit, Mike Scott picks up 8 tenths to come all the way up to P8.
Very nice.
Respectable 45.4 from him.
Very nice.
Bunch of big gainers on the track right now.
And Latufo rounds the final corner. He is 7 tenths up, which is an incredible feat. 3/4 of a second up, and that bumps him from 16th all the way up to 4th. That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's not a jump, that's a leap.
That's one of those scenarios that you say jump, and then he just said how high, and he just jumped right out of his shoes there. Yeah, but we're checking back in with Nate because he too is rounding Sector 3 here. 5 tenths up from his time, which is going to put him firmly in the 44s, and that's going to be a very competitive time. The penultimate corner there, a little bit of a moment over that curbing, still gaining time though, so there's more on the plate for him. Wide turn there, gaining. He lost some time in that final corner. There's more for him to find, but that he steals P4 from Al Latufo. Again, great effort from him, but he's already gaining time into turn 1. Another driver to keep an eye out on is Samedo, who is in the pits at the moment, but has set a 44.8. I imagine that he's going to be going back out again to really try and grab pole if he can. I think he has it in him. But speaking of a driver that has it in him, Colin Shea just set a blistering time of a 144.8 to steal P3. Another Team McLaren racing driver.
They heard you talk about how you're not a fan, and they thought, well, how can we piss off Doug? Let's put ourselves all up at the top, so he has to talk about us.
I just can't wait to watch them all go bowling with one another. They're gonna share a lane, if you know what I'm saying.
It won't happen. It's all good.
They're gonna stick their grubby fingers from all the nachos and pretzels that they eat and right into the bowling ball, and it's just gonna cause an absolute scene into turn 1. I can't wait.
We'll just wait and see. Doug's digits have to say, sticking their toes in.
Exactly right. Speaking of Doug's digits, we have Norman Doe, who is a part of the Dadman collection, who has stolen P2 with a 144.6, and the Hondas are looking quick, currently holding P1 and P2. Come at ya, boy. But we talked about it. Nate is crossing the start-finish line right now with 5 tenths up. It was enough. It was
2-1.
enough. Team McLaren strikes back. I hate
Let's
it.
go.
I hate
Yes.
it. Oh,
That's a
Nate,
pole position.
you cheeky driver, you. That is pole for now. Let's see what happens. Dominman in the chat asking if he's the only Ferrari tonight. That is the case. There's only one Ferrari, and hopefully you can make it sing for us tonight.
And Chris coming across the line, picking
Yeah.
up 2/10 each.
Yep, Christian Holmes, we just hopped on board. Just snags P12, another Team McLaren driver. I'm gonna get sick of saying that. And
All over the top 20, brother. I'm telling you right now.
I hear ya. I hear ya. A driver that's making a massive surge though is Taylor Molyneux. He was 5/10 up. He lost a little bit of time. He's still nursing a 3/10 improvement, which is still going to be a very competitive time. He's stuck at the 44.9 right now. Any time gained is going to bump him up pretty sizable.
Getting into sector 3 now. Just coming through towards T8. Forward. There he is. Absolutely moving.
I think Antonis R in chat is roar because he's saying that he's going to be the fastest in the respective car. He's the only Bentley on track. I'm putting 2 and 2 together there.
Yeah. That makes. That's funny. Yeah,
All
two
right.
solo manufacturers tonight.
Yep.
One Ferrari, one Bentley.
Make that 3, only one Lamborghini as well. Pencheniak.
Yeah, you love to see that. Taylor does cross the line with no improvement, unfortunately for him. He had a really bad Sector 3, so he's got some work to do, but he's got 2 more laps to try and get that done, as long as he doesn't have an absolute moment. But more importantly, Pav is riding into Sector 3 here, and Pav has 1.5 improvement, which doesn't seem like much, but he's only down 0.5 from pole.
What's just enough to
the finish.
Give that little hop. Let's see how this one ends.
Commentator's curse is real, and I'm hoping that that's not the case for my boy right now. We're on board. He's losing some time for the last few corners. Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, I think he nicked the wall. He nicked the wall, and no improvement there. He's got time for one more if he keeps pushing. And he's going to pull over. No!
Just as that all was going down, Nate was coming out for his outlap. That might be his step to come in with P2 and P3 sitting in the pits.
Despicable. But as Pav pits, we have Austin Sawyer. Jess Osborne has a moment, huh?
He was up 4/10 on his lap looking to improve and made an error in Sector 3.
Oh, you hate to see it.
At the end of his qualifying.
Well, another Badman's driver, Austin Sawyer, is finding quite a bit of time on track right now. It was 5/10, and now that I'm on board, it has disappeared. So I'm going to leave him alone, but keep going, young buck. But Subchition, on the other hand, is right in the mix here in Sector 3, rounding the final few corners. 5/10 up right now, and he's only 7/10 down from pole. This is going to put him up quite sizably if he can hold on to it.
Since you've stepped off of him, Austin's picked up to be now down 3/10 on his time. Probably biting his lip, thinking that 5 and 3 makes 8. I'd be up there fighting for pole if I didn't make that mistake.
Yeah, no kidding. And nice job for Subchition. Puts himself into P3. And I think that was Colin Shea in the background that careened into the wall as he finished his lap. Big yikes there. But yeah, Sawyer is one of the last few on track. He's right behind Hatchie here. And Sawyer elects to pull over as he finishes his lap. Puts himself into P9. And more importantly, Latufo still on track here. A lone man on track almost. I think we have... Yeah, he's the last person to qualify. He's 3/10 up on his time, and he's pushing like a madman. All eyes on Al Latufo. There he is, Stone Cold Killer in the picture-in-picture there. What's going through the mind of the driver?
Only man on the
Get a
track.
little bit of a sight of how dark it is from inside the car. Tough to spot your braking zones in this qualifying, but he's found another 7/10, 15 minutes in.
Wow, that's gonna put him real close. Might even put him in a P2 if he can keep the pace up.
He lost a tenth through the last couple corners, but still 5/10 improvement. Where's that going to put him? From P8 to P2. What a stud!
Wow.
What an absolute stud!
Hats
Nice
off to
job.
Latufo.
Nice job.
Great lap.
All
Wait
right.
until nobody was on track and then put in a flyer.
Yeah, what a guy. He said, hey, I'm taking this for myself. I want to reach out and thank Brooker Quig and Damas Basura for subscribing with their Prime. That helps us out a lot. I really appreciate that. For those that are curious what that is, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch sub. So you could use that in tandem with SRA, and we get some sub credit, which is really cool. So thank you guys for doing that. That means a lot. Much love to y'all. But yeah, you guys have any standout drivers that you want to really hone in on?
Honestly, Al, he's been putting in a heck of a lot of practice lately. Been seeing him in the server almost constantly, and it's nice to see it show up for him in the qualifying, coming up to P2.
Couldn't agree
Watch
more.
that lap. That was on the edge the entire way around the track. And I think being up at the front, he might be able to avoid a bit of the bowling, so I got my eye on him tonight.
Couldn't agree more.
I'm gonna have to go with, our Team McLaren boys. That's we got 3 of them up in the top 10 so far. So let's see if all of our Team McLaren boys can bring it home. How are we looking on the grid here, boys?
We're looking pretty good. We're showcasing the beautiful liveries that our drivers have made. This season's theme is throwback, and the drivers interpreted that in many different ways. Some going with vintage NASCAR liveries, some vintage just generic racing liveries, and then like you see the Porsche just now, some vintage video games. We had Galaga, Pac-Man, then some Cartoon Network cars like you see on the left. Really cool stuff. Overall, I've been really impressed, and there's Jess Osborne flashing his lights, getting some showtime there on the stream. Very cool. And the comic book of Landshark right there on the left, very cool. And then his teammate Santos on the right. Really cool liveries from the guys and girls in the league. Really, really proud of them for everything that they've been able to accomplish. And as we do that, the drivers are underway, and we can get back to the front of the grid here as they peel off.
That's some good action. Good action coming up.
That's the dream, right?
And speaking of good action, Gooden7 Rav, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's Trav Robinson. Yeah, Trav Robinson. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Trav.
The king of signing off of work right before the race and putting in a top 10 time.
Trav is one speedy boy, and he's proven that all season long. For multiple seasons, for that matter. But yes, thank you for subscribing with Prime. That helps us out a lot. And Durban Legacy in the chat. Hi. All right, chat. I want some interaction from y'all. We have a very mixed up grid. We haven't really touched on it much. The Porsches are very fast in qualifying, but in race trim, they are dogs on the straight here through Sector 1, and they get eaten up. There's 2 Porsches in the top 4. What do you think's going to happen? Who is going to come out of turn 1 as the winner? Are we going to have these Hondas or the McLarens outrunning these Porsches? Or are we going to see the Porsches be able to park the bus? What do you think?
It's just the Porsches want to stay alive in the straights. They gotta really use the entire track going down them. Try not to give anybody a gap in either direction. But if we're really gonna say it, I think the McLarens are gonna run away with it in the beginning. But those Hondas are pretty damn quick, so they could end up sneaking up behind us.
Yeah, Fazley, I agree with you. AMR and NSX is up the hill. They pull super hard. McLaren starts to cut out around fifth gear. It starts to lose that top end, and the Honda keeps pulling. So I'm excited for that. But the grid is looking pretty awesome here. A good mix of car manufacturers, and it's going to create some great racing. And Mark Sutherland in the only BMW on the grid tonight too. So exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Absolutely. Let's see. What's the chat got to say? We got Fazley, Mr. Bajid is saying AMR and NSX. Loic is saying Pete. Sorry, that's Travis saying Loic. And
Yeah,
then
he's gonna. Loic has got some crazy pace on him. He was faster than me in one of our practice races, and that's saying something. All right. So, I need to do some stop-go 30s real quick. That snuck up on me real quick. Damiani, who are the drivers I need to give stop-go 30s to?
That came up on me very quick.
Real quick.
What?
Let me do some research. 504 and 710.
Do you mind putting that in? You know how to do that? While I control the cameras?
I did not do the step over
Hey.
upgrade.
Do you guys see 192 sitting at the just past the start finish line?
I do.
What's is that in the pits? Is he starting from the pits?
That's what's going on at the moment. All right, we'll handle the race start, and then we'll make sure that we get these penalties dialed in. All right, they are away. The Porsche gets a great run. Nate and the McLaren gets an awful run. The two Hondas go side by side. Team orders, let's buy. Yeah, Loic gets an incredible run. Al able to take off from behind here. Nice job as he tears up the hill here. And I'm not seeing any yellow flags at the moment. People have survived. Division 2 has survived. Turn 1 at Watkins Glen. Let's freaking go.
Clean.
As we trail into the bus stop, drivers are going to start coming together. Great jobs there.
Tight up front, Nate knocking on the door.
Damiani, go ahead and just click. Are you doing the penalties right now? Or are you good?
Yeah, I am doing the penalties right now.
You're absolute goated. So the grid is totally mixed up. A few drivers losing some positions here, but that is a-okay. But right now, Latufo, I'm surprised, able to hold off the rest of the grid despite having the lack of the top end. It's going to get exposed here on lap 2 as he climbs up the hill. We do have one driver that's suffering. That's Fire Queso and P36 limping behind the rest of the grid. He must have collected some unfortunate damage.
Coming out now. 9.
Oops.
That's okay.
No big deal. Normando gets an absolute run on Nate here in P2. Latufo keeps them at bay. This is going to be what's important for turn 1 here. Who's going to get a good run?
Our 504 is not participating in the race tonight.
That's a-okay. Bailey Kish had the fastest lap for a moment, and it's quickly stolen away. A nice little moment for him. And here you're going to see the absolute legs of the Honda. Normando's going to put some crazy pressure on Nate. Nate's parking the bus right in the middle. And he just tucks in behind. Probably great for this stage in the race. No sense in risking it right now. OMG, it's Pav is tucked in behind Normando in P4. Latufo managing a great thing here. And we have side-by-side racing between Subchition and Colin Shea. Absolutely great performance. Let's see 15 seconds back as they race through the bus stop section. Shea does go through the grass, and luckily Subchition sees him doing so and creates some extra room. That's great awareness from him. And the race continues as you see cars slotting in behind. Colin Shea does relinquish the position back to Subchition, though. That's good racecraft there. And you see the field behind getting bunched up. Sawyer and Molyneux going side by side. Sawyer taking the outside line, which is less preferred, putting some crazy pressure on Molyneux as you see even more drivers switching back. Holmes and Fickert switching places. Mike, can you give me a rundown of some of the drivers limping in the background there?
Let me take a peek at what's going on here. So it looks like we got a couple groups happening now. So from P5 down to about what's happening here? Yep, to about P18. They're at about a 2/10 gap to each other, and then from P18 down to about last place, P34, is about pretty widespread at about a second to almost 2 seconds apiece. And let's see what's happening here.
I think what he's looking for is Paul A. Hartman, who's fallen to 40 seconds back from the field, probably got caught up in something on turn 1.
I'm reading in chat that
Arcaso as well.
Yeah, I'm reading in chat that Durbin Legacy is saying that Paul A. Hartman took quali fuel instead of race fuel, so he had to pit and fuel his car up.
Oh no.
No.
While we were talking, though, Normando did get past Nate. Nate and Pav both had moments in the bus stop section that caused a little bit of a gap. So now Latufo is running away. He's got a second gap to Normando in P2. Normando, because of that mistake by Nate and Pav in the bus stop, has built a second gap on each of them. So they're starting to sort out. But Subchition is keeping Pav honest here. 3/10 back through Sector 3, and that is where the Porsche is wicked quick, Sector 2 and Sector 3. The sweeping corners, it carries so much speed.
Oh, tight. This is good.
Michael
5
Jeffries.
minutes in.
Sorry to interrupt, Mike, but Michael Jeffries is right. A bold strategy to take quali fuel in race trim. Weight savings, yes, but it does take time to refill.
It's a long extra pit stop, and it's going to make it very hard to come back during the race.
No kidding.
A little bit of put your head down and see where you can get that open air with the lap times that everybody else is doing, 47s, 48s, a few 45s near the front. They may be able to claw their way back in this early bunched up pack.
Speaking of bunched up, we have Zhao in P7. We have a car off. What's going on there, Damiani?
Looks like Griffith has stopped at the exit of turn 1.
190.
And he's not moving in general.
Oh, and he's left the race.
Oh man, you hate to see it.
Spins out exiting the bus stop. Sutherland, another yellow flag behind.
Oh, some carnage.
Someone in chat said that if Al can stay out of the slipstream, he's got it. Oh, carnage in the bus stop. Oh my goodness. No.
Going off.
Oh, there's an absolute pile up.
Oh, who else? Looks like Holmes went off, and so did Fickert.
Yeah, Almeida is off, and then 15 seconds. I'm not seeing what's really going on here. Where's the pile up? Yeah, there they all are. They're starting to trickle in. They must have had a moment a little bit earlier. Friday still off, facing the wrong way. Oh no, you hate to see it.
While that all went on, I don't know if he got caught up in it, but Al Latufo has fallen to P3.
Yeah, we're just about before that absolute classic pile up there. Al did get passed by Nate and Normando. I think he had his own moment separately and was overtaken rapidly. But now he's just got to put his head down. Do you think he's got any damage?
He looks pretty clean right now. A little bit of dirt on the back end of the car. I wonder if he just went off through the grass.
Yeah, his hood's looking okay. So keep on keeping on. Kreska putting some crazy pressure on Mike Scott here. Sector 1 is the passing opportunity, but this Porsche is going to lose some leg. Even in the traffic, we already have a car that's blue flagged. Molyneux gets past Semedo and for oh, there's just trading places right next to one another. That's awesome. But right now, Kreska on Scott's just right on the back bumper, and Kish is right on the back of Fickert.
Super Dave and Matt Morrison just dueling back and forth in the picture-in-picture into the bus stop.
Michael
Battles
Jeff.
up and down the grid.
No kidding.
Cannot turn away.
Mike Jeffries again in chat, but giving some love for Mike Scott, saying that he doesn't feel pressure. He's a machine. Let's see if he holds up to that testament.
Oh,
A little bit of a late break there from Matt. Managed to avoid contact, but that's left the door right open for Hatchie. Now 3/10 behind.
Checking back down the grid, we have Jess Osborne on the back of Mark Sutherland in the Beamer. They're about to go side by side as Mark gets a poor exit. Jess has now pulled plenty along. Perfect time to get on board the helicopter. The SRA chopper for the great visual aid here. Jess does send it up and Mark backs out. Jess gets the overtake done nice and clean. But Fire Queso again, the yellow flag, sideways on track. And he returns.
He's returned to pits.
I think he just up and
he's
quit.
left.
He just up and quit. That he was already in last place and he had another moment. I don't blame the man.
That is tough.
Yeah.
But,
Speaking of tough, Panchiniak. Oh, pardon my butchering there. In the Lambo, the only Lambo in the field, elects to pit to fix some damage. That is tough to see also.
Yeah, it looked like he went deep at the top of the Amazon hairpin. I don't know what else to call it, but there's a bunch of Amazon signs up there.
Oh no, Subchition also having a moment in the bus stop. We need to have a counter. Someone in chat needs to be taking count of how many people we see do this.
a little bit.
He does lose quite a few positions too because he absolutely has no momentum throughout the rest. And now we come back and he's sideways again. His tires must be cooked. He went down. He's lost many positions. Now down to P17.
That stop is clearing the lives of many drivers tonight.
Yeah, now he has the awkward situation where his teammate, the little fella's duo here, is right on his bumper. Team orders would say let him go, and there they do, right there, the switcheroo. Smart strategy-wise there, and he has to still defend from Allen behind. Russell Allen.
Looks like the battle for P9's heating up a little bit with Chris Holmes, Kreska and Scott pushing absolute. They are pushing Chris hard.
Speaking of pushing hard, Sawyer's pulling alongside Molyneux into turn 1. Sawyer backs out. Molyneux takes a wide line. That's probably going to be a warning. And something we haven't talked about is that drive-through penalties for track warnings are pretty prevalent on this track.
Such a fast track. I don't know if it's intentional, unintentional, but I know. I mean, it might be, you know, accidents, a few accidents here and there to find a couple tenths.
Yeah, people in chat are asking what's going on. Why are people having moments? And honestly, this is just a really high-speed track. The drivers are feeling the pressure to carry more speed than they're comfortable with in order to keep pace with drivers around. Like as we see, 3 drivers driving straight through the bus stop here, bumper to bumper. It's tough to follow this closely at this speed.
Speaking of pressure, Nate Spetch is slowly falling back, having a few moments, letting Al and OMG's Pav catch up. Pav actually just touched Al coming into the right-hand hairpin in Sector 2, coming up the hill.
Was it consensual?
I don't know. That may be something for the post-race interviews, but the battle for P. Oh, is Pav
Pav!
into the wall?
That was certainly not consensual.
No, it was not. Barry R did not okay that one.
No, Barry R took a pounding there, and Pav's car is going to be feeling like trash now with that aero damage. As we see Santos go off track here, he was battling pretty hard with Morrison, and Super Dave, but now the grouping here is peeling off as he has a little bit of an off. There's an absolute train from P7 down to P14.
Yep. Wow.
Let's see if I can catch it here.
Who's a part of that train? Mr. Molyneux, Sawyer, Holmes, Kreska, Scott, Kish, Lloyd, Fickert, Schaefer, Rover, and Substation?
Substation, absolutely, yeah. And right in the middle of it, Kish on the back of Mike Scott. Let's see if he does feel the pressure like previously alluded to. And no, the man just sticks the bus stop. That is the hardest part. But you see these cars just driving straight through in what looks like fashioned order here, just one right after another. They are in a fine train. And we were talking earlier about how it's tough to travel at these speeds this closely. It is tough, but these drivers are proving that they can do it under pressure. But someone breaks under pressure. That is Nathan Schaefer. Unfortunately, he's finding himself perpendicular to the track. Let's see what happened to the man. Oh, just a big slide and then a snap of oversteer when the weight transferred. And now he's in a really uncomfortable position, perpendicular on a very high-speed part of the track.
It's a tough spot to come back from, especially when you're facing away from the track.
Yeah.
You don't really know how much room you actually have. Can you back up, or are you gonna force somebody into an accident, which nobody needs or wants?
Yeah, well, he's back now licking his wounds, but it's just more pain as Jess, Mark Sutherland, and Landshark all pass him in sequence.
Putting him down to P29.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. Checking on another Team McLaren driver, Colin Shea is now firmly in the toe of OMG It's Pav ahead, and reminding you that Pav was the driver that took an absolute beating into the barrier recently, so he's going to be suffering some damage. It's going to really hurt his pace, especially through these really high-speed sections of the track.
The thing I'd be worried about is that was a pretty heavy front end impact. Is that wearing into it, wearing into his tires at all?
100%.
Because there's a lot of front end demand here with the banking, especially if you don't hit the apexes. The front tires take a lot of load.
100%.
So is he gonna chew through those tires trying to stay out there too long?
I think he's going to eat up his tires much more quickly than is customary, given the fact that you're right, that his tires are going to be, he's going to be asking a lot more of his tires than the Aero would typically allow for. But now what we're looking at is this absolute train here as Sawyer's being pressured. 2 drivers within 2/10. Christian Holmes and Team McLaren is coming after him. He's able to hold him off. But Kreska in the Porsche is not waiting for Holmes to get out of his way. He says, I'm going to make 2 moves for 1.
It's like it's all the action's up in the up in the midfield. It looks like everyone's kind of calmed down past P15 a little bit. There's a tiny train from, who is that now? I lost it. Yeah, from P17 all the way to, looks like P30. Yeah. So, couple hot spots of action that can happen.
Yeah, we're cooking right now. In the mix, Normando in P1 has gained a 4-second gap over Nate Speck in P2. But Nate does have the fastest lap, so he still has the pace. It's just a matter of whether he can do it consistently. Alatufo is 4 seconds behind Nate, so the podium places right now are separated by a pretty healthy margin. But what's not healthy is the gap between Pav and Alatufo. I don't know how Pav is driving this quickly with damage. We saw him hit the wall ridiculously hard, and his last lap was still 1:45.7.
That's a lot of pushing the car. I wonder if I think he might hit a cliff here. I think he might end up too close to Latufo, where he might have to make a little bit of a maneuver to keep his car alive and won't be able to get those tires back into a window where he can drive.
I agree.
Still very, very early. We're only just past 15 minutes into the race.
Coming up on 20 minutes in. But that's the
Yep.
dangerous part. Do you risk pushing that hard now when you're borderline at the pit window? Because you can still lose a lot of positions in a small amount of laps here.
The answer is yes. You're going to see an absolute pace difference here. Even with damage, this Honda is going to outrun the Porsche. Yeah, here it is. This is the difference we were talking about earlier. It's not even a hint. He's going to get right past him before he even has a chance to battle. Are they going to go side by side? No, he's able to tuck in front. Alatufo loses another position because of the Porsche lack of power on the straight. And right behind is Colin Shea, trying to reel them both back in. I've been told in chat that by Short and Saucy that Plan FFF Racing, I think those are the photogenic Ferraris, needs to get some love because apparently we haven't been showing them enough. Which I think that's just Jaworski, right?
Yes, sir. You got it. Happily cruising along in P24 at the moment.
Absolutely.
Kind of in free air right now.
Looking good in that Kodak car there. Everyone in chat knows that I'm a fan of alliteration, so.
It's a very clever name with that Kodak livery.
Oh, 100%. So we're back in the mix here, looking over the back wing of Taylor Molyneux in his Ghost Rider Racing Audi. And he's got Austin Sawyer firmly planted behind him. And behind Sawyer is Holmes, behind Holmes, Kreska, then Scott, then Kish, then Lloyd. And this train is fierce. You can't even see their numbers distinguished on the track map because they're on top of each other.
Everybody's fighting for a spot. They know that pit window's coming up. They want the track position that they want before the window.
What happened to Fickard? He was on the straight.
Oh, he's coming into the pits?
No, take a look at him. What happened? Do a replay. Do a 15-second replay.
15 seconds.
Yeah, he's just sitting in the middle, and then he just teleports. What happened to my boy?
I wonder if he ping-ponged.
He ponged when he should have pinged.
He ponged when he should have pinged. You said it right, my friend.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Not
Oh, speaking of hating when that happens, Taylor Molyneux has a moment in the bus stop, collects himself, but because he had to take some evasive maneuvers, Austin Sawyer loses out when trying to keep it out of the back of him. So now there's a four-car gaggle all on top of each other. Austin Sawyer holds the inside. Holmes, with more momentum on the outside, is able to get the position done.
Winner goes round.
Yeah, and Kreska is now firmly on the back of Sawyer trying to accomplish this. And Bailey Kish, the teammate of Molyneux, is just remaining patient there behind. But absolutely crazy view here, as you can see all the cars pouring down the hill. And all the while, these drivers are pushing so hard. Now they need to start thinking, what's the strategy play? 3 minutes until the pit window. What are you doing, boys? Are you peeling off early to get out of this train, or are you sticking with it?
I don't know. It would all depend on pace, really. But it looks like these guys are pretty much at the same pace. So I really don't know. I think personally, I'd stay out for as long as I humanly possibly could. Maybe when somebody else ducked in, you know, give them the quick follow. But that's just me.
They're all so close to one another in pace. You're right. I think that I'm going to take a risk here in this scenario, and I'm going to try and pit. And hopefully I can undercut, because right now I feel like all these drivers are just matching each other's pace because that's all they can do. Durbin in the chat saying undercut. I agree. I think that's the play here. Molyneux cleans up his bus stop on the following lap here. Nice job. And everyone else just, again, seeding in. But Subchition further back is able to get past Roar.
Give a quick shout out to Mr. Reynolds out
Oh
in
boy.
P20.
Sorry to
Is there
interrupt.
somebody?
Mike Scott, it looks like he had a big slide. He was in the back portion of that train we were just talking about. Oh, yeah, Lloyd gave him a little love tap. And Mike Scott, being the absolute Giga Chad that he is, catches the big slide like the Drift King himself and keeps that NASA AMR firmly on track and just drives off. Lloyd respectfully rescinding the position back to him and keeps on racing. Nice job.
Save.
Michael Jeffries is saying ban to Lloyd for hitting his beloved Mike Scott.
Drop the hammer.
Drop the hammer.
Nobody needs Mike to turn into prison Mike, so
Oh,
let's be nice.
yeah, that is scary business. You're right. Speaking of scary business, Latufo right on the bumper of Pav going into Sector 1. This is where the Honda is going to run away, unfortunately. Al is putting the absolute moves on Pav. He just can't get it done because the Honda builds too much of a gap. At least 3/10 on this one straight alone. But he just needs to stay patient. Pav does have some damage that will rear its ugly head later in the race when the tires are falling off, like Damiani previously hinted at.
Is he gonna fix that damage? Because he seems to be doing all right with what he's got right now. Is it a splash and dash just to hopefully try and gain some positions, or is he gonna risk losing, maybe 5 or 6 positions? Just
It's hard to say.
Fixed.
Hard to say. Oh no, Sawyer and Kreska, big moment here. The two came together. What happened?
Little touch.
Side by side into the hairpin.
Oh boy. Yeah, a little bit of just coming together. Both drivers trying to assume the same spot on track, and ACC physics take it away. Kreska teleports to the pits. Sawyer drives off. Speaking of driving off, Colin Shea's putting some crazy pressure onto Al Latufo now that Latufo is being held up by Pav. So the three of them are all on top of each other. As the pit window opens in 2-1, here we are.
Kreska's probably kicking himself right now. He came in just a few seconds before that window opened.
He is new to the league. Yeah, he's new to the league. He got the red badge there. He needs to learn the subtle nuances of the rules that we have here, because that, like you said, it was a big strategy miscue there.
No better way to learn than the hard way.
Yeah.
Some people say.
You can ask Season 2 and Season 3 Damiani about that.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like 3 guys so far coming in. Holmes, Lloyd, and Jess Osborne coming in. Oh, bunch of guys at the back coming in early.
Good stuff. Get out of that train. Try and mix up the race. And people in chat asking, if you come in before the pit window opens but your stop happens when it's active, does it still count? And the answer is no. You have to cross. Oh no! Pav does have a spin.
Uh-oh.
That aero damage definitely resulting in just one too many pushes for him, and then he causes a spin. Rescinds back down to P6, unfortunately, but still very much in a very good position. I think that, yeah, this is a smart play. He needs to pit this lap, I think, after to cool his tires down and everything like that. But to further go back on my point, you have to, as Nate elects to pit, that's your P2 and P1 are both in the pits now. Both pitting really early for their circumstances. But you have to cross the pit entry line in the 10-minute window in order for it to count. That is the play. And Pav does elect to pit. That means Latufo and Shea are assuming P1 and P2, and they're right on top of each other again. And then Semedo in P3 has now assumed a pretty good gap on the rest of the grid, finding himself right there in the mix, which is pretty cool.
Looking over the pit stop data here, a splash and dash seems to be about 38 seconds total in the pit stop. So that's the magic number for where Latufo and Shea will slot back in after theirs. Right now the gap to Spetched is 32 seconds from Al Latufo, so they're set to lose P1.
More to fight for later.
You've got it. Normando seems to be the big winner from that pit stop.
100%.
21 seconds back from the leader, so that's going to give him quite a big gap. The next car that is pitted is Nate. Did have a bit of a longer stop. That would be why. 11 seconds stopped for 43 total.
Mike Jeffries in the chat making a joke at his own expense. The time needed for the splash and dash, which is about 3 seconds, is very similar to his smash and dash time. Any comments about that, boys?
Been there.
All by myself.
Yeah. Hey man, if you finish first, you're the winner, right? Just like in racing.
I don't know. She got a kick out of it when I yelled pole position.
That's podium, baby. Yeah, peak efficiency. That's what I'm talking about. As we see Russell Allen diving into the pits here. A lot of the grid has elected to pit already, which surprised me. Normally the strategy is to go out and stay out as long as possible, but that is the move right now. But right now we're checking back in with Colin Shea, who's still putting some pressure on Al. One of them, if I had to guess, is going to peel off here to kind of relinquish that pressure from one another. They are in the boot section of the track right now, which is Sector 2, crossing into Sector 3. Let's see if they elect to pit on this lap. And another comment, Peter Reynolds is in P9. He started at the back of the grid today. That is an incredible bout of performance there. Damiani, can you pull up the data on who's gotten the... Well, I guess we should wait till after the pit window to see who has the most overtakes on track.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But while we're giving toots to Peter, that's a even bigger drive than it has been, considering at one point he was up towards P15 and had a moment, fell back another 5 or 6 spots, and has come back this far as well.
Good stuff.
Caps off, man. Great race.
Yeah. Latufo blinks first and pits, and Colin Shea is relinquished to just push as hard as he can to try and gain. And his teammate Semedo in P2 is 7/10ths back. The two Team McLarens just driving off into the sunset. I think this is the strategy move. This is the play.
I think so too. And I wonder if there's going to be some team orders here, because the last lap from Semedo was a 46.3 and Collins was a 47.1. So see if free air has anything to do with it, but Collins got to step up the pace if they actually want to run away with it here.
Does Team McLaren have a good team orders situation at the helm?
Yeah, we're not. We don't need any sort of overhead decision making. We're very much a, hey, I'm faster than you. Okay, let me try and go faster. I can't. Okay, I'll let you by. We want to win as a team.
It's a good system. It works.
That's good. Durbin's in chat just causing an absolute stink. Will you quiet over there? Goodness gracious. And then Brooker Quigg's
got to do it.
And then Brooker says he's going to be testing something to ignore him. I'm interested to see what that is. He's going to gift $1,000 to stream. I can't wait. That's going to be a great test, Brooker. Thank you so much. It's going to be raining subs in here. Colin Shea does elect to pit, and Semedo goes down and holds P1 now as he laps around one final time before he too has to commit to a pit stop. The next battle on track is Holmes, 4/10ths behind Mike Scott, the legendary Mike Scott, for P8 at the moment. Again, everywhere we go, there's a Team McLaren driver in the mix. Brooker gets it. $1,000 donation to top up the cruise fund. You already know. We're already planning 2024, baby. All jokes aside about how the admins of SRA misappropriate funds, I'm really excited about how SRA is doing a legitimate real life get together at the Rolex 24 in Daytona this year, which is going to be really exciting. I saw some people talking about printing some SRA flags, and whenever Tyler gets around to shipping out these SRA t-shirts, my goodness, we can all wear our swag together. I'm pretty stoked.
SRA Fest 2022.
Excited is an understatement.
Oh, speaking of excitement, Bailey Kish got a little bit too excited in the pit lane and has earned himself a stop-go 30 penalty.
He heard about those t-shirts and just put his foot down. He's like, I need to get those now.
Can I get an F in chat for Bailey Kish? Similar to Michael Jeffries, his smash and dash went a little bit too hard.
You never want to go too hard.
No, that is never a good scenario.
No.
We did miss an overtake. It looks like Hatchie and Shark were a little bit side-by-side action. I want to catch this into what looks like turn one. Yep, Hatchie just gets the inside. Land Shark lets him assume the inside line, and off they race. Clean pass there. Land Shark said that he was on vacation for quite some time. He's quite a cultured person, or I guess I should say a cultured sea person, or a sea animal, right? A land shark. I don't know. They're not mammals, right? They're not mammals.
Don't ask me. I was never good at history.
History? Biology, bro? But someone in chat tell me what a shark is. Sharks are mammals, Doug. Okay, well, thanks, Durbin. Well, I guess they do, like, birth, like, live sharks, not, like, eggs or anything like that, so that makes sense. But anyway,
Discovery Channel featuring Doug.
Yeah, this is Nat Geo Wild, bro. Pit window has closed. Has anyone missed their pit window like Matt Lehman did in D1? Big oof.
I see everybody with at least one pit count, but I can't tell if anybody's missed it.
Good deal.
Since we're past that pit window, let's look at some winners and not so winners. Got Matt Morrison up 20 spots from P34 to P14 right now. Peter Reynolds knocking on the door of him, up 18 spots from P33.
He's been moving. I've been watching him off and on all night. He's been fighting his way back up. He had a nice little spin earlier on, but doing really well to put himself back up there.
Definitely, and it looks like that extra pit stop has cost Kreska poorly, and he is our not-so winner of the night at down 19 positions.
Yikes. Big oof.
I want to give a shout out to Paul A, who's fought his way back from those early predicaments on fuel and is now in P24, only 7 spots back from where he started. So, good back half of the race. Example of what you can do when early mistakes happen and you just kind of forget about it and drive.
Keep your foot planted and your mind grounded.
You've got it.
I've been corrected. I guess I should say Durbin's been corrected because Durbin was the one who told me that sharks are mammals. Dead last saying that sharks are categorized as fish. So the reason this has all been brought up in the first place is because I was making a joke about how Land Shark was on vacation because he's very cultured, and said he didn't get much practice in, but still managing to be in P23. Good on him. And as I scroll down to look at the list, I'm seeing Fickert with a yellow flag died in the bus stop and teleported to pits. Finds himself in last place, down 4 laps. You hate to see it.
Definitely hate to see it. And we also see Bailey Kish popping back into the pits.
Serving his
stop
penalty.
go. Getting it out of the way now. Just gonna fall probably back towards Almeida. P29.
He's got some driving to do now.
Brooker in the chat saying he missed Samedo in the prediction. Don't curse me. So I'm not sure what kind of voodoo magic that Brooker's into with curses and whatnot, and his predictions, because I didn't see who he predicted to win. But Samedo is in P3, but he's being hounded by Colin Shea. But these two are teammates, so they should be respectful of one another. You do suspect, right? I don't really like the fact that this is happening, but there are 3 McLarens in the top 4. What's going on here, boys?
Just dominance. What are you asking us for? You should be looking at the Doug's digits and the Dadmins going, what's going on here?
Well, we are in P1 by 11 seconds. So, but
Structures points, baby.
yeah, Normando is an absolute savage, but the rest of the grid, your team McLaren is cleaning up.
Yeah, we've just had some strong performances this week. A lot of practice. A lot of people doing a lot of practice. But the McLaren's just looking out a little bit.
Good deal. Speaking
Seen
of
a bunch
McLarens,
people not finished so far. I was gonna say we're down to 30 drivers.
yeah, Landshark and Paul going a little side by side. I want to see this replay. Yep, side by side. And Paul does back out, tries to switch back. And Landshark just holds the line and prevents our boy Paul from getting by. But great racing between the two McLarens. As Paul much later on the brakes through turn 1. This is looking promising. You know what I'm seeing here is Bailey Kish served his penalty in the pits, and he still has a stop go 30. Did he speed a second time? He's in the pits.
No.
He's in the pits again.
I think he teleported.
Good run for Paul here, able to get past Landshark through sector 1. Let's see if he can manage to hold him off the rest of the grid, the rest of this lap. Yeah, Bailey just falling down the pecking order here, down 3rd from last because of his 2 penalties. My man, just brake earlier. What's the deal?
Yeah. I don't know. College Shea getting right up on the back of Zhao now. 2/10.
We gotta see this. It was another pass through the bus stop. A brave move from Friday here, and on Mark Sutherland in the BMW. Lexus power on the straights. You love to see it. Yep, just gets the inside. Mark leaves the door open for him so that they can keep racing. Good stuff. And Lucas having a yellow flag here, but seems to be okay, so we won't be too worried about it. But exciting stuff here is Santos has Jess Osborne and Austin Sawyer in the background there, all over him through Sector 1. Luckily for Santos, Osborne, Jess, he's in a Porsche. Nothing's happening here.
Oh boy.
It's got a little bit of breathing room for a few seconds, but see how well the Porsche handles the corners. It's a late race situation.
Down 20, just past 20 minutes now left in the race. What do you think's gonna happen? You think we're gonna get a little more pushing now?
I think that this track requires you to push the entire time. So if you don't, you like get out of this rhythm that you're in, and it causes problems. So I don't think drivers are gonna find any extra pace here. What I do think is that the tire wear is gonna start rearing its ugly head, or we're gonna see some people make mistakes.
How did you feel about tire wear?
My race was absolutely terrible, so tire wear was not even relevant. I was fighting for last place for like 45 minutes. I was just kind of just hot lapping. Speaking of hot lapping, Jess Osborne makes a mistake, and Austin Sawyer is able to sneak up through the inside. Again, he's dancing. Jess goes a little wide, has a snap, just Porsche things, and Austin just drives on through. That's my boy right there. Sorry, Jess. Go get them points. But because of that little snafu, Santos is able to drive off and build a 6/10 gap. The other battle on track is Heichi into turn 1, really close to the back of Lorenzo. Backs out the last possible moment, probably compromising some extra momentum. But now the run commences. Alan Heichi in Oh Boy Racing AMR is firmly on the back of Lorenzo in this Audi. And Lorenzo's going to say, I want this outside line. And Alan says, all right, I'll take this. But backs out. He backs out on the inside and lets Lorenzo by. That's obviously safer, but lives to fight another day, which is good stuff.
Can't think about the long game too much. There's not too much long game left. Not a very optimal place to go for an overtake, so sure he's just trying to pick his battles wisely.
That is wise. We have, oh my goodness, I've seen something I can't unsee. What was this? Whoa. All three of these drivers on top of one another. So Santos sends it up the inside of Reynolds and collects. Then Austin Sawyer says, I'm here to party, and then backs out because Santos is all over the damn place trying to avoid Reynolds. What a battle.
Wow.
Reynolds able to hold everyone off, though, holding down P14. As the group finds turn 1, Austin Sawyer slots in behind Rogerio Santos in P15, and Jess Osborne hanging out there in the background. Oh man, Austin Sawyer wants Santos bad. This is where the Honda is going to have some legs. There it goes.
Not quite enough.
Not enough, but man, the pressure is on. The heat is on. There's your singing co-drama.
Great song.
The heat is on.
Can't wait to clip that. Lucas throws a yellow flag as he bites a piece of the wall.
Oh, don't pull on track. Oh my goodness, that looked scary.
Just a little bit. Almost loses the car just trying to come through the last corner.
This triplet of cars here has ditched Jess Osborne in the dust as they continue to battle through the remainder of the boot. And they are pushing into Sector 3 swiftly. The three of them separated by mere tenths. Alan Heichi gets past Lorenzo again, just trading positions, the two of those. Oh, and Austin's carrying so much more speed than Santos, but he's just parking the car right where he needs to.
Some great defensive driving there, holy.
Coach Romo giving me the heart in the chat. Mommy! Austin Sawyer has to back out a little bit. And Durbin, you don't have to be quiet. You're fine. But I like the activity in chat. Alright, we have 13 minutes left. I want to hear in chat who the people are that... oh, man, Brooker freaking clipped it. Oh, God, that was quick.
It's not even over yet.
That was quick. Well played. Well played.
Parker, give me your Venmo.
Yeah, it's at simracingalliance.com. In the donation section, you can find all that stuff. Michael Menning, Landshark Easy Dub, you are a bit behind, my friend. He is in P23. So, no bueno there for your prediction, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to go over to the front of this little battle here. Peter Reynolds, beloved admin, fending off Santos and Sawyer.
P14 now, he is moving.
No kidding. And he was feeling sick today. He said his limbs felt like noodles. Well, he needs to feel like noodles more often. He's kicking some butt right now.
Literally. He's having a race
Yeah.
right now.
All right, chat. Who do you want to see on track? Oh, as Sawyer goes real wide. Tell me, who do you want to see if we haven't shown your beloved driver? Let me know. Can we talk about how Normando has built a nearly 12-second gap to Nate in P2, and Nate has a 13-second gap to Sameto in P3? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, they're just trying to lock out their races.
Absolute animals. Switching over to the camera at the perfect time. We have Sawyer up the inside of Santos, and there's no way that Sawyer loses out on this. That's exactly right. Sawyer does go a little aggressive through the bus stop, but manages to stick it. Jess, despite all this, with all this fighting, has managed to catch back up. Good on him. But Sawyer does get the job done and claims P15 from Santos. Good driving from Santos for several laps to defend that move from happening sooner. Nice job. Further up the grid, Matt Morrison and the Bad Boys Club is sitting in P12, and he is all over the back of Russell Allen.
That Audi is looking for another position. He's making his way up towards the top 10.
Yeah. But Russell Allen's no slouch. He is a very good driver, and I'm glad to see him on track. I know he's been really busy in real life, and he's one of the veteran SRA members. Love to see that. And he's always driving an Audi, so it's good to see him in a different car. The McLaren testing his driving ability.
Definitely. Just ahead of that battle, the Pips got Rohrer and Lloyd currently fighting it out for P9, otherwise known as P1 in the silver class.
Oh, spicy.
Howdy.
Only a 5/10, now 4/10 difference. And they're pushing. That's into the bus stop there. Nice moves there. Nice stability. The Bentley is so stable through there. It looks planted.
It is a car that is hungry for curves. It wants you to take them. And Rohrer just reaping the rewards of those aggressive lines.
Morrison.
Really closing the gap down.
Yeah, he's right on the back. Similar to Morrison battle here. They're pushing really hard. Yeah, Bailey Kish is in the chat with the big L. So you just quit, bud. You just quit. You know, you could have gotten the points if you just finished the race. You should just sign back in right now. You'd be in P30. You still get some points. Just saying.
Do it for the points.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that Ghost Rider Racing Conglomerate would be pretty upset with the amount of points you just threw away today. But, you know, I'm just speaking the truth. You're mentally defeated. You're physically defeated now that you quit, too. Just saying.
A little bit of chill, a little bit of action.
Yeah.
SRA action happening.
No. Yeah, Nathan Schaefer. I'm going 15 seconds back. What happened to my boy? He took the bus stop really slow and just... Oh, my goodness. That was an impact with the wall there.
Oh my.
Ouch.
That was a mighty big oof if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that's a very tough impact to come back from. His wheel is probably not straight after that one.
That's a safe bet. What in the world? There we go. Now it's still relatively straight, believe it or not. But that was a hard impact. You hate to see it.
I'm surprised his window's not even broken from that impact.
Nah,
Did somebody
man.
leave the damage off in this server?
He's got Lewis Hamilton's front bumper. Or front wing, sorry.
Yeah, just indestructible Mercedes power, baby. Alan H.E. is trying to go around the outside of Dominic Jaworski here. They are side by side going into this bus stop here. And, oh wow, H.E. does peel in front, real brave, and Jaworski respectfully leaves the room. That was a very brave moment from the two of them. Well done.
Some hard battling, yeah, very well done.
More importantly, we did have some people, specifically Durbin, asked to see some Paul in the race here, and he's firmly 2 tenths, excuse me, behind Lorenzo, trying to put some moves on. And Rimzik asked to see Colin Shea. Would you mind showing some Colin Shea in the pit?
I will gladly show some Colin Shea. And big shout out to Doug to helping us broadcast the Team McLaren action here.
Blech.
Thanks,
Paul
Doug.
gets a little side-by-side love tap from Lorenzo as the two of them do a little hip action, little shimmy, booty bump there, and Paul is able to get the move done and claims P21. That is perfect timing. Thank you, chat. Anyone pull a Lehman in this race? No, everyone pitted within the pit window. However, some people elected to pit 3 times with 2 stop-go 30 penalties, which was fun.
Sometimes you just want to practice your pit entries.
Well, he
Maybe
said
race day is not the night to do it.
this is true. He did say he was fiddling with his pit stop settings and forgot to brake. Happens to the best of us. But can we talk about Matt Morrison for a second? He's surging through the field. He claimed P12 not too long ago, and now he's on the back of Russell Allen for P11.
Once again, that Audi pushing back into the bumper, saying, I want a spot, give it to me. He may be waiting for the last few laps here in hopes that he doesn't get slipstream down the straightaway now that the Porsches don't have that full fuel load.
Someone's barking at me in all caps in chat saying, "Don't make fun of me, Doug." And their username is Fresh to Death QT. I don't know who you are, and I've made fun of a lot of people tonight, so you're gonna have to clarify.
Mr. Pav himself.
It's Pav. I did make fun of you. You did have a little bit of a moment, and you quit the race. As a part of the Dabman conglomerate, you know that you finished the race to get us the points. Sign back in and drive the last couple laps. Good. Don't you dare leave points on the table like some trash tier Ghost Rider racing driver would do. Don't be ridiculous.
Gosh, what's going on with this Dadman team, man? It sounds like they're a little mismanaged. I don't know. It sounds like Team McLaren's got to open up the recruiting pool again.
That's up for Paul A and Doug to talk about their management styles here, because one's succeeding, one's not.
My team is in absolute shambles. Many DNFs to answer that, as Roar and Lloyd go side by side through the bus stop while we were bantering back and forth, and Lloyd is able to take the position, a very brave move in the Porsche, nice move. Assumes P9, and Alatufo is under duress by Mike Scott and Christian Holmes. So this is your battle for P5, 6, and 7 right here, all within a second. And there seems to be a yellow flag for substitution. You mind checking it out?
Oh, it looks like he went wide at the end of Sector 1. If I can get it in the replay here. Oh, bit of a slip and slide. Collects himself and loses a few positions, but no damage on the play.
Pav said that he collected a stop-go 30 after having a crooked steering wheel and 30 seconds of repairs, so he just quit. So you hate to see it.
Rest in peace.
That does not make the owners of the Dadman conglomerate very happy. We aren't made of money here, okay? Every time you crash one of our cars, it's one less cruise that we can go on. So that's not okay.
I was gonna say you're made of money. You're just eating into the cruise fund.
No. Dude, I can only go to the Maldives so often. I get it, but like I need my R&R, okay? Bailey says an infinite amount of GRR cars over there. That's because you're not spending money on coaching.
Lloyd holding on by it. Skin of his teeth to P9.
Oh, Pav wants me to sell the Honda team and buy a Lexus team. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see what the Dabman conglomerate can come up with next season. I want to go to other battles because HE is 2/10 behind Jaworski. Can you catch that? Because this battle is still too juicy to pass up. Because Latufo's coming up on a back marker of Mark Sutherland at the moment. And it is proving to be quite interesting here. When are they going to back out? Latufo's probably pounding on his wheel. Get out of my way! And he does. They got out of the way there. Oh boy. Yep, Christian Holmes is going to feel pretty brave. Mark Sutherland needs to brake early. Yep, get out of everyone's way. Nicely done, my guy.
Beautiful.
Durbin asked me, will you run the Bentley with me, Mr. Mitchell? Mr. Mitchell's my father. Okay. And we want to watch the battle for P3. Absolutely. Colin Shea putting the moves on Semedo. But again, this is not really a battle. These are teammates here. They're going to be... They're not battling. They're just driving together in tandem like a nice dance, you know? They're waltzing around Watkins. See what I did there? More alliteration. You'd love to see it.
Mr. Doug, alliteration master.
I do what I can. And when we looked away, Mike Scott got past Latufo. Damn it! I'm going back 15 seconds. He was already there. This is why we can't have nice things, Rimzik. You see what you did? That's okay, though. We love to see the McLarens finding some success. For once. And the leader is on the final lap. Norman Doe has been pushing to build a 13-second gap. He's an absolute animal. And you're finding that the biggest battle on track right now, the top 5, is still very much in question. Norman Doe sealed P1 as long as he doesn't have an absolute moment. Speaking of moments, Matt Morrison. Oh no.
Oh.
What happened? Oh, big spin as he tries to push just a little bit. Wow. Too much power. Gets on it early and spins. Thank you for carrying on with that. Yeah, he's just in the wall now. You finished the race, bro. Oh, he teleported to pits. That's worst case scenario. Now he's going to finish a whole lap down from everybody else. But more importantly,
he left.
He left? My goodness.
God.
What in the world?
Chris Holmes gets past Al Latufo on the straight.
Yes, he does. And Al Latufo goes to cut some grass.
That's I didn't know Porsche made lawnmowers.
If they do, they're probably wildly expensive. Further back, we have Super Dave, who we haven't shown at all. So good on you. Just 1/10 behind Jess Osborne as they cross the line. Oh! This is the final lap. What's going to happen? Norman Doe finishes the race for P1. Nice job on you, my guy. Making us all look good. Nate crosses the finish line. P2. Nice job. And then further behind, we have Semedo and Colin Shea driving in tandem as they whisk each other off into the sunset. Back to the McLaren garage. And Jess Osborne's holding on for his dear life for P16 right now. He really wants to keep this position. And he's hoping that he could steal another one from Subchition there in front. Subchition. All these little Porsches humming. The gap is close, and you're looking at another gap too. This gaggle of cars is pushing with everything they have for the final lap. Jess gets alongside.
Gotta try and make the move.
Yeah, he sacrifices his run, and now he's under attack. He's got to be careful, because Super Dave is right in the mix. Oh my goodness, a close last minute move there for Subchition. gets by.
Look at that
That was
gaggle coming
that
from
was his
behind.
teammate that held him up. That was definitely team orders. Well done from the group. Sneaky, sneaky. Good job, everybody.
Wowza.
Your silver podium, Lloyd Roar and Santos. Your gold podium, Normando Spetch. And I don't it wasn't Colin Shea.
I thought it was Samedo. That's what
I
it
think it
says at
was.
least.
Yeah, I can't see that high up on the board. I'm looking at my
Yep.
timing sheet.
Yep.
People are leaving.
And they left already. People that leave early make us determining what the actual finishing point was is quite difficult. But nice job, everybody. Good job, Division 2. That was a really clean race. No, like, very few incidents, driver action. A lot of people just spinning out on their own accord. But you know what? That tends to happen, and that's okay. But really proud of everybody for how they were able to uh, really make the most of tonight. So, can we get some interviews for some of our more successful drivers?
Let's see. Let's see. Chilling here. Where is Mr. Normando? Let's move him to the cool down room.
Thank And I just want to say thank you to all you guys that are watching. I see 33 viewers and the count's growing. I'm guessing that's some D2 people checking in to see how the chat went. The stream went, excuse me. Really great performance from everybody. Coadrome was asking for another shoey from Loic for another win. To be expected. I'm sure he's eager to get in the chat here momentarily. Let's drag him up. Normando, should we expect another water shoey?
Maybe not.
Why not?
Wow.
You seem to enjoy it so much the first time, and you used arguably the fanciest shoe we've ever seen done on stream. So
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Okay, if you want, I can do another one.
I think the league would love it. No peer pressure, but again, if you want to, I think it would make people very happy. So, how did the race go for you? Obviously, you finished with a massive gap to P2. How did it feel?
It feels incredible because I got my redemption from last week's race with the stop and go penalty I got for a pit lane entry. And I think I just played really good and then had a good practice. I especially practiced my tire management. I think it paid off. I was doing almost I was about 4/10 off my personal best at the end of the race, and yeah, I was doing really good lap times, and it was a pretty calm race, I gotta say. The first lap on the first corner, it was pretty sketchy. Pav just slowed down really early in front of me, so I kind of needed to like I had to choose really fast. Do I need to take the inside or the outside? So I took the inside and took on Sopshishin. I think it was Semedo too that I took on.
Yep.
And yeah, so that was a really good start too. That helped me. And yeah, I gotta say thanks to Nate for pushing me on, even though it was we had a big gap between me and him. But yeah, he was pushing me pretty far in the first few laps. So yeah.
Would you say that the prime time, like top tier, high tech facilities over at the Dadman conglomerate helped contribute to your win tonight?
I would say yes. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, a lot.
Gotcha. What would you say to the drivers
Loic,
that
you
are
don't need to lie to us.
What would you say to drivers that are looking for opportunities to improve and looking for, groups that could really benefit them? Like they're shopping the marketplace. What are your thoughts on that?
The whole community here at SRA, just and Dadmins too. So yeah, I think Dadmin is the best team, but it's my opinion. But yeah,
That's all we needed to hear.
but I gotta say,
Factually
just
obligated.
yeah. But the whole community here at SRA is just really cool, and if you have questions on how to improve, just ask it, and people will help you.
Cool. Well, Normando, another fantastic performance, and good luck for next week. You are surging in points, my friend.
Thanks. Yeah.
Good
And
luck.
yeah. Thank you for the commentator, by the way.
Happy to do it. Cool. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your water, Shui.
I will enjoy it like no one.
Yeah, I look forward to watching it.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Do we bring the two McLaren boys up together?
That's what I was
Go.
thinking.
Oh yes, hello.
Team McLaren making an absolute standout performance tonight. There were so many of you scoring points. What's the deal here? What's the secret sauce?
Uh, Joao, you got anything?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Keep the secrets, boys. Don't tell them anything. They're just trying to get something out of you.
So what you're telling me is that Team McLaren's a big conspiracy theory organization, and that the drivers are so afraid to speak out without being told what to read. Got it. Got it.
We don't exist. Team McLaren just exists in a spiritual plane.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's just a concept. Team McLaren is only a concept.
Well, all jokes aside, you guys did a fantastic job tonight,
Thank you.
and you guys are really respectful on track, and I appreciate that. Showing each other plenty of space, and towards the end there, the gaps were pretty big, but ultimately, you managed a really great race.
Yeah, I think personally, I killed my tires in the first stint. I don't know if you guys were watching me at all, but I had a couple code browns, especially one in the bus stop.
Oh,
And
we
then
saw.
Yeah, and then I spun a couple times going in through those, long left and right handers. So, and I got bonked, which doesn't help. I also started in P2. I don't know if you guys saw the start, but I did not start in P1.
Oh, we
So
saw.
it was just kind of a comedy of errors. But besides all that, I got it together and put in a couple good laps and was able to finish P2. So, kind of disappointed with my overall performance, but happy with the result.
That's a really great perspective on a race that ultimately, despite placing well, you understand that there's still plenty of room for improvement. And
Yeah, I've made so many mistakes.
yeah, and as drivers, especially in these different tiers that we are in, having that wherewithal to understand that there's always room to improve, and having that construct shows a lot of maturity as a driver, and ultimately will make you better in the long run. So kudos on you guys for having that mentality.
Sure hope so.
Yeah, D1 soon, right?
Maybe. Hey.
Hey, yeah, we'll see you in the D1 construct, and it's a scary place. I can tell you that. Too fast. Too fast. Cool, but yeah, you guys have any parting comments? Any plugs that you want to give out? Any shout outs?
Shout out to Joao for the double podium. Always putting in good drives every race. Yeah, just shout out to McLaren. Appreciate my teammates for the baller setups. Yeah.
Was there any question on whether Colin Shea was going to be let by or anything? It was pretty close at the end.
They actually told each other they were racing.
Oh. I don't know if the conglomerate would like to hear that.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That was a hypothetical, by the way.
Got it.
Hypothetically, they said they might kind of be racing.
Gotcha. Well, what if tragedy had struck and the two drivers took each other out? What if?
Right. I was saying in my head, guys, don't bonk each other. Don't kill each other.
That would have been a mighty big oof. But hey, history has been written this way, and we'll never look back. So great job, guys.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you guys on track next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, boys.
Should we get the silver podium up here?
You have them?
I'm in there. I put a couple of them in the cooldown room, but they must have jumped out. I put Rower in there, and he jumped back in.
Yeah, he moved back by accident. I told him we'd bring him up here.
Oh, okay. Well, let me bring him up.
Go ahead and drag him. I don't see him online anymore.
Hello, Mr. Rower.
Oh, that's because he's in here. Anthony, good job tonight. You there, buddy?
Hello?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
There we are.
All right, all right.
Tell me, how was your race?
But yeah, honestly, I was in no man's land for like 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and then I caught up with Lloyd at the end, and that was just, I don't know if you guys caught any of that, but I was like sniffing his bumper for like the last 10 laps, and the guys behind us were just obviously catching up, just slowing each other down. So that
Yeah,
was intense.
Damiani had you on the picture-in-picture for a large portion of that, and you were right. You were just parked right on his bumper the whole time.
Yeah, no, I was clenched.
That shows a lot of skill, though, that you're able to drive so closely without incident. So great job on that. Any takeaways from tonight?
I'm just glad I got another top 10 because, yeah, I mean, it's improvement from last season for me, so I'm happy with that.
Is D2 gold in the future?
I mean, I hope so. God, if this is it, then man,
You're
I
getting
mean, if
there,
this is
man.
it for me, yeah,
Promotions, they're coming swiftly. I think that we can all agree that the driving in D2 has been improving week after week, and it's really great to see everyone learning how to drive amongst each other with more cleanliness and pace. So, and you're part of that equation.
yeah. Thank you. Happy to be here. Yeah, these grids are so tight, especially compared to last season. Like so many new people, and they're really skilled. It's super tight.
Well, now you're going to find that here's the plug for season 5. We're going to be making some announcements later this week about the setup for that. We're going to have and be shooting for 6 divisions next season.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
that's
going to
insane.
be even tighter. So you're D2 gold material, and yeah, you will be the future franchise driver in Division 2. That's the dream, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's the dream. Happy to be here.
Cool. Well, if you're looking for a new team, the Dadmins are welcoming drivers.
I can only drive
Oh,
Bentleys.
just keep plugging.
Oh, well, the Bentley is something that the Dadmins will entertain. So we'll see. But all jokes aside, Anthony, nice job tonight, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you for having me.
Sure thing. All right. On that note, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that listened tonight. We can't do this without y'all, and especially to the drivers. Thank you for putting out a good show for us, and for Mike and Josh for joining me in the booth. I can speak for everybody when saying that we always have a good time here hosting you guys. So thank you for that. Mike, Josh, do you have any parting comments?
Oh, it's always great to be here with you boys, and thank you again for having me, Doug. Really appreciate it, man. But it's clean racing tonight. Everyone did a hell of a job, and can't wait to see what happens next week at Suzuka.
Yeah, next week's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people love that track, and it's going to be interesting to see what the rain has to offer to shake things up. I know I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know about you guys, but I did some practice laps on a wet Suzuka, and my goodness, is it tough. So next week is going to really test the skills of our drivers, but I'm looking forward to it.
Gave me flashbacks to our flooded Silverstone days.
Scary business, yeah. So, for anyone that is not familiar, Sim Racing Alliance is a North American ACC PC only league. You can join the league at simracingalliance.com, and you can join our Discord at discord.gg/simracingalliance. We love all your guys' support. Make sure to follow the Twitch stream. Send us your Prime subs if you got them. And if you want to show some additional support, you can either volunteer in the community in one of the many staff roles that we have, or plug in the donation section of our website. But all that being said, really appreciate all you guys tonight, and looking forward to more content to come. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great night, everybody.